Well, hello everybody, welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on YouTube. Want to welcome you to the June 4th, 2022 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's my all 50s and early 60s edition. I apologize for being a few minutes late. You know I make up for it at the end of the show, but unforeseen circumstances caused this lateness tonight, so you have to excuse me. But anyway, we opened up tonight with James Curry and his orchestra out of Hollywood, California on the Megatone record label. From 1959, a song called Swingin' with Dave. It's kind of an odd title, but I think this Dave is more likely the Dave Polk who co-wrote this song with this whoever what he played, probably a horn or trumpet or whatever, Mr. James Curry there. He also supervised the session. It's on red vinyl. I will show it to you in 1 minute. You can also get this on the Vistone label, which comes out on yellow vinyl, by the way. But this is like a recent edition from Warren on this 45 from 1959. James Curry and the orchestra on Megatone, Swingin' with Dave. Well, enough babbling swinging from Johnny G. Let's open up here with the vocal portion. A bunch of flip sides. 2 are my own, and the rest are requests. So here we go. Let's open up the vocal portion here with a flip from last week. This group from Brooklyn, New York. They're known as the Bops. They did 2 for the choral label. I featured their second. I think it was Joe Shacatano requested the ballad side. It was called My Darling, My Sweet. Darryl Letts requested the flip. It features Danny Zipfel on lead. We go back to June 1958. We open up with the Bops on the choral label. It's called To the Party.
Party tonight, have a good time. Go to the party tonight, there's dancing all the time. Well, rock your baby, rock her one more time. Bring your honey along, have yourself a ball. Teach her how to stroll, then rock and roll some more. Well, there's your baby, all around the floor. Now when you see kitties there, rockin', rollin' everywhere. Don't just look, don't just stare. Don't you be a little square. Oh, go to the party tonight. 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 Whoa, go to the party tonight. There, don't you be a little square. Whoa, go to the party tonight. 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 Whoa, go to the party tonight. Go to the party tonight. Go to the party tonight. Go to the party tonight.
That's by request for Darryl Letts. Darryl Letts there requested the B-side to the Bops. That might have been the A-side probably. June 1958 release on the choral record label. To the Party is the name of the tune. We have a party here every Saturday night from 9 to midnight right here on YouTube. Go past midnight, I'll be live on the Oldies and More Radio Network. Let's continue here. You know, we count down the music chronologically here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and you make mistakes in your collecting journey, and one of the mistakes I made was not buying a mint copy of this next 45 when I had the chance to buy it, because it's never really crossed my path again, unfortunately. It's a rare record, too, by the Crows. It's a request for Rick and Philly. I had a chance to buy a nice mint copy of this, but no, it was early in my collecting career. I said I have the record already, not knowing I was ever going to upgrade certain things, and that was a mistake, because I should have upgraded this record. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. The label's kind of messed up on this, so I was disappointed in that. That's one of the few mistakes I've made in my collecting career. But this is a request for Rick and Philly as we go to Harlem, New York, and it's the initial release for this group on George Gollner's Rama record label. They had 6 overall releases for Rama, and this is actually a country tune. This was a country western song released on Mercury by the Carlisles. I also think Rusty Draper, he also covered this for the pop field, but this song was also covered in the R&B field by the Crows. Sonny Norton on lead from April 1953, going out to Rick and Philly. The Crows on the Rama label. It's called No Help Wanted.
And a hippity hop, she's big at the little and the bottom at the top. Do you need any help? Oh no, help wanted. Oh, you can use our help. Oh no, help wanted.
Where's the call on me if you need any help?
I can handle this job all by myself. Well, I lost my baby, she's a little bitty booker, cute as a button and sweet as sugar. I'm gonna buy her a diamond ring and we'll get married in the spring.
When you need any help,
oh no, help wanted.
Jack can use our help.
Oh no, help wanted.
Where's the call on me if you need any help?
I can handle this job all by myself. Well, she calls me a little piggy wicky, and I call her my little thingamajiggy. Every time I have to give her a kiss, I can hear her voice sound something like this.
Oh, you need any help?
Oh no, help wanted.
Oh, you need our help.
Oh no, help wanted.
Where's the call on me if you need any help?
I can handle this job all by myself. Well, we're going to take a honky-tonk tonight, and we're going to do everything alright. Yes, we're going to dance and swing and sway, and we're going to hop till the break of day.
Do you need any help?
Oh no, help wanted.
Oh, you can use our help.
Oh no, help wanted.
Where's the call on me if you need any help?
I can handle this job all by myself. Man, I'm salty with all you cats. Matt, ask me, do I need any help? I can do all this work by myself.
There you go there, by request for Rick and Philly there, the Crows. The Crows on the Rama record label, song entitled No Help Wanted. That one there from April 1953. Like I said, I never again, well, you never know. Maybe I will upgrade it there, then this copy will become available. I still haven't gotten my act together yet with the duplicates and triplicates. I got people asking me, though, for my want list. I will tell you that much. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And up next, this great group out of Baltimore, Maryland. This is a request for Daniel Kubacki. They had 12 releases on the Atlantic label between 1951 and 1957. You know, their first release is only available on a 78, by the way, on Atlantic Records. But let's give a listen to this is their fifth release from May of 1953 by request for Daniel Kubacki, the great Cardinals, Ernie Warren and the Cardinals, May 53 on Atlantic. It's called You Are My Only Love.
You are my you are my only love, only in my dream. I'm just a lonely man, but still just a same. You are my only love. I hope not in vain.
There's been so many nights from which I could choose.
With you, I've everything to win and nothing to lose. If I could help myself, I know what I'd do. You are my only love. I'll pray on there's been so many loves from which I could choose. With you, I've everything to win and nothing to lose. If I could help myself, I know what I'll do. But I can't help myself. It's all up to you, love. That's why my whole life through, you're my only love. My whole life through.
That's a great sound. Hiss and all on that. That's my worst copy of a Cardinal 45, unfortunately, but a great tune there. Ernie Warren and the Cardinals on the Atlantic record label, May 1953, requested by Daniel Kubacki. That's their fifth release, You Are My Only Love. What a great tune that is. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's stay with one more in 1953, request for listener Mike Sape, this singer from Algiers, Louisiana, signed with Lou Chudd's Imperial record label back in 1953, had 17 releases on the label. Now, Mike requested his second with his group, The Toppers, who were really musicians. They really weren't vocalists, but although they did provide some of the vocal backgrounds on a couple of his 45s on the Imperial record label. I think maybe there were 6 or 7 as The Toppers were included. I'm talking about Bobby Mitchell and The Toppers. And this is from September of 1953, a song that he wrote. This is Bobby Mitchell and The Toppers on the Imperial label by request for Mike Sape. It's called One Friday Morning.
One Friday morning, I cried. love was gone. All because of you. I lied and I cried all day long. My mother said, please stop crying. You know she loved you. Please stop crying. Darling, I love you. All because my heart tells me I do. Please come back to me. I need you so. From hours to hours, one Friday morning I was crying. My love was gone and my money too.
There you go, by request from Mike Sape there, Bobby Mitchell, and the Toppers, September 1953 release. It's on the Imperial record label. One Friday Morning is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. We move into 1954. We go out to Los Angeles, California. Many of you already know who this group is, as especially when they signed with Buck Ram to become their manager, and he secured a contract with Mercury Records for this group. But before all those hits on the Mercury label, they recorded for Federal Records. And this is a request for listener Joe Shacatano. This is not an easy 45 to find by this group. This is their second of 9 on the Federal. This is probably their hardest, and I know I got some big-time collectors in the chat room. They would agree with me, I'm sure. Features Tony Williams on lead. We go back to January 1954 for the Platters, early Platters here. Well, maybe not so, well, yeah, early Platters we'll call it, on the Federal label, by request for Joe Shacatano. Tony Williams on lead. It's called I'll Cry When You're Gone.
I'll cry when you're gone. Our love didn't last for long. Darling, I'm lonesome and blue, just being here without you. Shed the cold rocks, I'll make my bed. Yes, the things that I've done were wrong. I'll cry when you're gone. The day me, darling dear, I nearly died. You said you didn't want me. I lay down and died, but I took your word for granted. I thought you would come back, but you didn't. Now I cry, I love you so. No one in this world would know. Yes, the things that I've done were wrong. I nearly died. You said you didn't want me. I lay down and cried, but I took your word for granted. I thought you would come back, but you didn't. Now I love you so. No one in this world would know. Yes, the tears that I shed were wrong. I'm crying when you're gone.
Oh, hear that talking at the end of the record there? A little bit of chatter. That's by request for Joe Shacatano there, the Great Platters. Tony Williams and the Platters on the Federal Record banner. I'll Cry When You're Gone, January 1954. Truly a rare 45, I have to say, and it wasn't cheap. It was four figures. I mean, the lower end for Johnny G. It really was just at the cusp of that. So at least that's what you're gonna have to pay for that record. If you want it on original, you can get it on CD. I'm sure that was booted too. Pretty sure it was. But anyway, let's continue. Here we are in 1954 now, and here's a request for Big Dave Swinger. I didn't see Big Dave Swinger in the chat room yet, but he requested the Harptones on Monty Bruce's Bruce label. This was their 5th of 6 on the Bruce label, and a nice rendition of this standard from 1947. I featured the Spaniels last week. I think it was it Daniel that requested the Spaniels of this last week, I think, but this is a nice version also. Willie Winfield on lead, November 1954, going out to Dave, Big Dave Swinger, the Harptones on the Bruce label, and their rendition of Since I Fell for You.
You are gone and left me all alone. You took my love and made me leave my home.
Well, you made me leave my happy home. You took my love and now you're gone. Since I fell for you, love brings such misery and pain. I guess I'll never be the same since I fell for you. Well, it's too bad and it's too sad that I'm in love with you. You love me, then you snub me, but what can I do? I'm still in love with you. Well, I guess I'll never see the light. I get those blues most every night since I fell for you.
There you go. That's for Big Dave Swinger there. The great Harptones, Willie Winfield and the Harptones, November 1954 release on the Bruce record label, Since I Fell for You. Norm's copy sounds good, Brian. Yes, it does. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we move into 1955 with a request for Emnon as we head to Philadelphia, PA, for the Revels. This was their second single, their second single after the Atlas. So they were originally on Atlas Records. They recorded as the Revels Quartet. I don't have that record. I think I have a bootleg of that record. But then they signed with Bernie Lowe's Teen label, and this tune written by group members John Jones, he was the bass, and Bill Jackson. This is going out to Emnon from 1955. The Revels on the Teen label is called So in Love. This is for Emnon.
I love you. Please don't say we are through. All my thoughts are of you. You know I've been true. I want you to be here by my side, and our love will abide forevermore. I don't like the thought of you leaving. I cherish your love, now I'm leaving. The field of your charms in my arms has left me so lonesome and blue. Please don't tell me to go, because I love you so. Just give all of a chance. I don't like the thought of you leaving. I cherish your love, now I'm leaving. The field of your charms in my arms has left me so lonesome and blue. Please don't tell me to go, because I love you so. Because I love you so.
Sounds of 1955 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Revels out of Philadelphia by request for Emnon. So in Love, that one there on the Teen record label, and other Revels 45s will be following shortly. Let's send all the pianos, all the songs that we can hear piano, and we're going to send it out to Sterling. Sterling is a pretty he's Sugar Bear in our chat room, in our YouTube chat room. He is a fantastic pianist. He did some song on the piano. I think it was earlier in the week. I was watching it. It wasn't live, but it was there, and he does a fantastic job on the piano. You know, like old ragtime piano, those tunes there. Well, he is excellent at playing the piano, and he loves the pianos in these 45. So we'll send those out to Sugar Bear Sterling. Let's continue here. We are in 1955. Here's a request for Joe Shacatano as we head to Chicago, Illinois. And when the Flamingos left the Parrot label, they signed with Leonard Chess's Checker record label. They had 6 releases on the Checker label. That was just in 2 years. That's, I guess, that's not many, 3 records a year, but they between 1955 and 1956. Now, this was their first release on the Checker label. It features Nate Nelson on lead. It's going out to Joe Shacatano, April 55, the Flamingos on the Checker label. It's called When.
When you're feeling oh so sad, and you really got it bad, that's when I'll be oh so near, just to stop those shedding tears. When the little things you plan need a little helping hand. That's when I will arrive, and I'll be there at your side. Time and time again, I'm in love with you. Please say you love me too. When you say those words divine, then I'll know that you are mine. That's when all my little dreams won't be silly as they seem. When you say those words divine, then I'll know you are mine. That's when all my little dreams won't be silly as they seem.
Wow, great sound of the Flamingos there. Nate Nelson on lead there with the Flamingos by request for Joe Shacatano, April 1955. That's their first release on the Checker record label, song entitled When. Let's continue here. We are in 1955. Now, last week I played the Reveliers on Baton, group out of Queens, New York. I think it was Daniel Kubacki requested their 5th release on Baton. I featured Don't Ever Leave Me, and that was listeners Darrell Letts and George Tompkins asked for the flip side, which does not feature Gene Pearson on lead. Instead, it features Pete Limonaire. How do you pronounce that, George? L-E space M-O-N-I-E-R. Is that like have a French pronunciation? You know, John G is really bad with the pronunciations here. But he is on lead on this song, and he also co-wrote the tune with group member Tom Duckett. So this is going out to Darrell and George, February 55. The Reveliers on Baton. It's called Little Girl.
Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Well, you've done for me what just happens to be one of those miracles for little old me. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Please, little girl, remember me. I'm your man and you'll never be free, little girl. You're gonna be okay. I thank the Lord above me. Thank Him from my heart. Sending me so much love and loving I know will never part. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Well, I love you, baby, I love you so. How much, darling, you never know. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. Just happened to come along. Now it's really something, well, it's something that's going and really going strong. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. A little girl, you're gonna be okay. Well, I love you, baby, I love you so. How much, darling, you never know. Little girl, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
There you go. Those usually known for their ballads. That is a jump there. Jump by the, I lost my place, the Reveliers, their February 1955 release. It's on the Baton record label. That's going out to George Tompkins and Darrell Letts. Little Girl, the name of the tune. And that was that song led by Paul Lemonnier. I think that's how you say it. And that was the only song that he sang lead on. Alfonso Delaney, he was another individual that led, I think, on 4 of their sides. But really, Gene Pearson, he did all the rest of the sides and probably the main lead singer. We got to say the main lead singer for that group, the Reveliers. Let's continue here. We are in 1955. This is a request for Mike Sape, special dedication. Mike Sape dedicating this tune to listener George Tompkins. This gal out of Elizabeth. Wait. Is she out of Elizabeth, New Jersey? I don't know. This song also came out on the Decca label, as did many of the other Hollywood acts, or other Hollywood acts that recorded for this Hollywood label. Now, Decca had a license agreement with Hollywood Records at one time, so you can find these releases also on the Decca label. Not a lot of them, but some of them. And this singer was the older stepsister to Tony Williams. Of course, Tony Williams, we heard earlier on that federal release, I'll Cry When You're Gone. But her real name, Bertha Williams, but she recorded as Linda Hayes. And this is her 11th release on Don Pierce's Hollywood record label, a song she co-wrote. There is some group backing her up on this. I don't know who they are, but this is requested by Mike Sape, dedicated to George Tompkins, Linda Hayes, from September 1955 on Hollywood Records. It's called Our Love's Forever Blessed.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, oh yeah, that's when our love's forever blessed, forever blessed. You know
September 1955 release there. Linda Hayes, excuse me, and a group. We don't know who Marvin Pod says the Three Blazers are backing Linda up, and then I have another, George says possibly the Feathers backing her up. I don't know, whichever one there. That's Linda Hayes there by request from Mike Sape. Going out to George Tompkins, Our Love's Forever Blessed. That one there on the Hollywood record label. Either way, an excellent tune. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. If you're new to the program and you're watching me for the first time on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can click the thumbs up there. And they do monitor my channel there. Maybe they're giving me a little bit of leeway because I'm only supposed to be on for 3 hours. Then they start giving me the copyright issue. But anyway, it's all a lot of fun here. I enjoy bringing you my 45s originals out of my collection every Saturday night from 9 to midnight right here on YouTube. We'll see with the overtime. We'll join the Oldies and More Radio Network beginning at midnight. But send me your requests at vinyltreasures@aol.com. I don't have every record. I have a lot of records, but not every record. So I'm looking for some big ones, as many of the collectors of my peers are also. But let's continue here. We go back to Philadelphia. We go back to the Revels and back to a request for Emnon. This is their second of two on Bernie Lowe's Sound record label. I think Sam Hart's on lead for this one from February 56. These are the Revels on Sound Records. Their tune is called Dream My Darling Dream. This is for Emnon.
My darling, dream. Close your weary eyes. Dream, my darling, dream. Soon you will be in paradise. Now that you are dreaming, no tears in your eyes. Dream, my darling, dream. For now you are in paradise. You know dawn brings a new day. Hear what I have to say. Darling, your light I would like to share. You know how much I do care. Dream, my darling, dream. Soon you will have to wake, and your dreams you will forsake. Because this is your lover's
That's the great sound of the Revels there by request for listener Emnon, February 1956 on the Sound record label Dream My Darling Dream. We continue now. We are in 1956 with a request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room. He requested this group out of Chicago, Illinois. They had 4 releases on Leonard Allen's United record label. Let's give a listen to their third. It features Flamingo, Flamingo's lead singer Solly McElroy on lead. This one from September 1956. These are the Moroccos on United Records, going out to Timothy. It's called What Is a Teenager's Prayer?
What is a teenager's prayer? That's not very hard to define. All they want out of life is love and peace of mind. I will explain it to you, just what it's all about. It is something that's written right, both day and night.
On bending knee, they'll beg and plead for love that's true. Won't you give them love, just a little bit of love? 'Cause you see, that's the least anybody can do.
Here is a teenager's prayer. I know you care. Won't you give them their share of a teenager's
As by request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room there, those are the Moroccos, Solly McElroy and the Moroccos, September 1956 release on the United record label. What is a teenager's prayer? Well, I don't know. I don't know what a teenager's prayer is in today's society. Might be something different. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a flip side from last week as I played the Monarchs, their first of two on Neil. I think it was Kenny Mack. I think Kenny Mack requested Pretty Little Girl. It was listener Darrell Letts and George Tompkins that requested the B-side. We go back to January 56, flip over Pretty Little Girl by the Monarchs on Neil. You get a cool B-side. It's called In My Younger Days. This is for Darrell and George.
In my younger days, when I was on my spree, all my friends used to say, as they looked at me, I used to kiss my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, down. Now in my olden days, and I can't get around, and I seem to be just like a clown. I cannot kiss my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, down. I go around in a day, nobody else I seem to see. She's got me lost in a maze. Oh, where can she be? Now as I turned around and looked their way, I can hear them say, she has gone away. I cannot kiss my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, time. go around in a day. Nobody else thinks I seem to see. She's got me lost in a maze. Oh, where can she be? Now as I turned around and looked their way, I can hear them say she has gone away. I cannot kiss my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby time. Oh,
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasures Show. Those are the Monarchs. Flip side of Pretty Little Girl, song entitled In My Younger Days. That one there going out to George and Daryl from January 56 on the Neil record label. I always thought this group was like out of New York or Brooklyn or wherever, but Marvin Pod mentions in his book that the group is out of Philadelphia. I did not know that they were out of Philadelphia recording for this New York City label. Let's continue here, and here is another request for listener Timothy. This group is from Brooklyn, New York. It's on Thomas Robinson's Atlas record label. This is their fifth and final release on Atlas. I think they have one on Old Town. They have three on Angletone. This one from November 1956. Lloyd Davis, he's on lead. These are, well, they're called the Phi-Tones Quintet on this one, and it came out on the Atlas label from November 56, going out to Timothy. It's called Waiting for Your Call. This is for Timothy.
waiting for your call.
I sit by the telephone, waiting to hear the ring that will let me know if you still care. I sit here, my darling, waiting for your call.
Waiting for your call.
I hope you will call on time. Please don't be late. All day I've been wondering, what is my fate? I sit here, my darling, waiting for your call. Every time the phone rings, I pray that it's you, but I just have to wait again. You said you'd call tonight, dear, I hope that you do, and tell me this isn't the end. My friends say if you don't call, find someone new and take it for granted that we are through. But I'll be here always, waiting for your call.
Every time the phone rings,
I pray that it's you, but I just have to wait again.
said you call tonight, dear.
I hope that you do, and tell me this isn't the end. My friends say if you don't call, find someone new and take it for granted that we are through. But I'll be here always, waiting for your call.
Waiting for your call.
Those are the Phytones this one they're called the Phytones Quintet. November 1956. That's going out to Timothy on the Atlas record label. Lloyd Davis, the lead singer on that. Waiting for your call. I wish Johnny G could take some calls here. Not yet, maybe. Got to do some investigations on that, but let's continue here. We stay in 1956 to go back to Philadelphia, PA, and about 4 records ago, or maybe 4 records ago, I featured the Revels with their second of 2 on Bernie Lowe's Sound record label. I featured Dream My Darling Dream for Amnon. Well, he requested their first on the Sound label too, co-written by the lead singer Sam Hart. This one from 56, the Revels on Sound. It's called Later, Later, Baby.
Later, later, baby, later, later, baby, later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go? My pretty baby's going to take a trip. Yes, my pretty baby's going to take a trip. I said, look at you, baby, you had better get him. I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. She said, I'm leaving, daddy, I can't stand your name. I'll be right here when you get back, waiting at the same old track. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go? I said goodbye, she turned her head. She said, I don't want you, daddy. Go ahead. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go? I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. Yes, I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. She said, I'm leaving, daddy, I can't stand your name. I'll be right here when you get back, waiting at the same old track. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go?
Later, baby. There you go. That's a cool jump there by request for listener Amnon. The Revels from 1956 on the Sound record label. Later, Later, Baby. A cool jump for sure. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. And here we go. Here up next, a request for Daniel Kubacki. Let's go back to Brooklyn, New York. It's the only release for this group. Came out on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. It's actually the B-side of the 45, which I do prefer. I know a lot of people like the A-side of this called Rubber Biscuit, but I think the ballad is the B-side. I know a lot of you agree with me, but anyway, the tune written by the lead singer of the group, his name is Charles Johnson. So this is by request for Darylette, September 56. They're called The Chips on the Josie label. It's called Oh My Darling. This is for Daniel.
Love you so. I really, really love Darling, I love you. I really love you so. Oh, darling, don't leave me. Don't ever let me go.
As by request for Daniel Kubacki there, those are the Chips. Charlie Johnson and the Chips, September 1956 release on the Josie label. Oh My Darling is the name of the tune. Of course, the A-side is a song called Rubber Biscuit. That was, I think it became well known from that movie. Who was the actor in that movie? Mean Streets. Does anybody know that movie called Mean Streets? They played a lot of cool 50s records in that movie, like I think, was it the Jesters or the Paragons? It played some good records in that movie. Martin Scorsese, I think that was his movie, if I'm not mistaken. Those guys were into group harmony, those guys back then. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a request for listener Timothy in our YouTube chat room, and he requested Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Now, I don't feature a lot, or let's say I don't feature enough of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. I have featured Cher. I think that was the one that I've played a few times here on the show. But this is actually a cover song. This song was first recorded by Jimmy Castor and the Juniors on the Wing record label, released in May of 56. In June of 56, it came out by the Teenagers. It was their third release on George Gallner's G record label. It was their follow-up to another hit they had, I Want You to Be My Girl. But this particular song charted number 57 on Billboard, 37 on Cashbox, number 10 on the Billboard R&B chart, and this was a big number one record on WHOD in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We go back to June 1956 for Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. This is for Timothy. It's on the G record label. It's called I Promise to Remember.
Hooly papa cow, papa cow, papa cow, cow.
Hooly papa cow, papa cow, papa cow, cow.
I promise to love you no matter what you do. I want you, I need you, I love you through and through. I promise to be true. I promise to remember
That's the great sound of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers by request for Timothy. It's June 1956 release on the G record label, their third release on G, I Promise to Remember. And we used to hear that here on WCBS FM during the day in the 70s, actually through the 70s and the 80s, until they stopped playing 1950s music. I'm sure that I guess Donald McGee can chime in down where he is in, is it Philadelphia, Donald, that they still play that on the radio down there. You guys are lucky down there. You get to hear it on terrestrial radio. We got to listen to, either you're going to listen to it here or you got to listen to it on Sirius XM, because that's when you're going to hear it, unless you're going to go to YouTube and just call it up. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We move into 1957 now with a request for Mike Sape. Now, I have an earlier release by this artist that came out on the Premium record label back in 1955. This was his second release on Lamp Records. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the artists on the Lamp label, which was a subsidiary of Aladdin, were from other areas, like the Cookies. They recorded for the Lamp record label, but they're the Cookies here from the East Coast, because Aladdin Records had satellite offices in a lot of the major cities looking for talent. So I don't know exactly where this singer Johnny Cook is from, but I don't think he's a West Coast singer. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, this is by request for Mike Sape. April 57, Johnny Cook on the Lamp label. He wrote this tune. It's called My Dear, My Darling. This is for Mike.
Oh, my dear, I'm glad you're mine. Yes, oh yes, my darling, I'll love you till the end of time, my angel, my darling. Down through the years, your love has grown in my heart, my darling. The heavens made you my very own. Oh, oh yes, my darling. To you I'll always give the best, for you're my life, my happiness. Our hearts will always be as one. To me, you're like the morning sun. I pray to him above. Oh, oh yes, my darling, to keep us safe and guard our love. Oh, oh yes, my darling. Darling, to keep us safe and guard our love. Oh, oh yes, my darling. Oh, oh yes, my darling.
That's going out to Mike Sape there, Johnny Cook. Johnny Cook from April 57. That's his second overall release. Came out on the Lamp label. It's a subsidiary of Aladdin Records, and George Tompkins mentioned the East Coast. A lot of the East Coast talent that they would find would come out on the Lamp record label. My Dear, My Darling is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. We are in 1957. We head out to Los Angeles, California with a request for Rick in Philly. It's by the Penguins as they left Dutone to sign with Mercury, only to return back to Dootsy Williams in October of 1957. Now, Rick requested the B-side to their fifth of seven on the Dootsy Williams, this time Duto record label, and this side features Dexter Tisby on lead. We go back to December 1957. This is going out to Rick in Philly, the Penguins on Duto. It's called Be My Lovin' Baby.
I want some loving from you. I want love, and no one else will do. To give me loving, the kind that's right. Be my loving baby tonight. I wanna kiss you. I want some kissing from you. I wanna kiss you. I'll always be. I wanna kiss you and hold you so tight. Be my loving baby tonight. Let's not keep the picture waiting. Craving to call you my own. You're so fine and fascinating. Baby, I'm not made of stone. I want love, you, loving you. I want love, you. No one else will do. To give me loving, the kind that's right. Be my loving baby tonight. Don't keep the preacher waiting, waiting to call you my own. You're so fine and fascinating. Baby, I'm not made of stone. I want love, you, loving from you. I want love, you, when else will do. To give me loving, the kind that's right. Be my loving baby tonight. 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 Be my loving baby.
That's going out to Rick in Philly there. The great Penguins there. The Penguins, I lost my place. Dexter Tisby on lead, December 1957 on the Duto record label. I have a promo that I got out of WPEP, a station out of Maine. And I was lucky to find that one out at the Waterbury, Connecticut show. And Jerry Smith, the late Jerry Smith, a dealer from Boston, Massachusetts, came in with a whole bunch of records from that library. He painted somebody's house, and they paid him in 45s from that library, that radio station. So I was the one. I got first pick to go through all the stuff. I think I spent, after the discount, it was $3,000 in 45s that I spent that day. I used to go up there with a lot of cash in my pocket to buy these records, and then I would leave at least broke that day. But anyway, the Penguins there going out to Rick in Philly. Let's stay in 1957 with a flip side from last week as I featured the Matadors on Sue, a request for listener Emnon. He requested the B-side to the group's debut single. The song was called, or their version of the tune, Pennies from Heaven. Was listeners Darrell Letts and George Tompkins asked for the A-side, which I prefer. I also prefer this side, and this actually was the very first release to come out on this Juggy Murray's Sue record label. This was Sue number 700, the first single on the label. The song written by the lead singer, his name is Johnny Garfield. This was a number 29 record on KDAY in LA, California. Let's go back to March 1957 for the Matadors. The Matadors, it's going out to George and Darrell. It's called Vengeance, parentheses, will be mine.
You broke my heart right from the start, boy. You made a fool of me in front of the crowd. And vengeance, oh, will be mine. You have me sighing, you have me crying, God. You have me dying, always defying. And vengeance, oh, will be mine. Oh, yeah, you say that love was true, oh, yeah, and all the time you knew you were making fun of you, oh, yeah. You had me sighing, you had me crying, oh, you had me dying, always defying. And vengeance, oh, will be mine. You, oh, you say to me that love was new, oh, yeah, and all the time you knew you were making fun of you, oh, yeah. You had me sighing, you had me crying, oh, you had me crying, always defying. And vengeance, oh, will be mine. And vengeance, oh, will be mine.
Those are the Matadors. What a great tune that is. The Matadors are liking that one there. In the YouTube chat room, Johnny Garfield on lead with the Matadors there, first of two. Their second one is great too, by the way. That one there on Sue Records from March 57. Vengeance Will Be Mine. Yes, it will. Let's continue here. And we are in 1957. We go back out to the West Coast with a request for listener Ronnie Sherman, as this group first recorded as the Premiers on Johnny Otis's Dig record label. Then they signed with Capitol Records for 3 releases. Now, Ronnie requested their second, and all the Capitol releases were arranged by guitarist Jack Marshall and also saxman Plas Johnson. This one going out to Ronnie Sherman from October 57. Give a listen to Sammy Hagan and the Viscounts on the Capitol label. It's called Wild Bird.
You're just a wild bird, meant to be free, and no one can tame you. That's how you want to be. You're just a wild bird, doing as you please. When somebody loves you, you take off like a breeze. I hold you tight and the stars begin to shine. But tomorrow night, will you still be mine? Yeah, why be a wild bird flying all around? Please tell me that you love me and you're gonna settle down.
gonna settle down. Wild bird.
As going out to Ronnie Sherman there, that's Sammy Hagan. Sammy Hagan and the Viscounts there, that's their second of three on the Capitol record label from October 1957, song entitled Wild Bird. We are going to flip it over for the ballad, a killer ballad on the flip side next week. And Sammy Hagan also recorded as Little Sammy on the Shade record label, also as Count Yates. I think it's Regis Records I think he's on. Anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Let's go to Baltimore, Maryland for this next group that recorded on Thomas Robinson's Atlas Records out of New York City. Nothing else known about this 45. This is my selection tonight. I played the instrumental, I played this record, and one more record tonight were my selections. But the first time I heard this song was on a Relic LP, and I'm sure many of you have had this LP, the Best of Atlas Angletone Records. That's the first time I heard this. I think I might have heard it on the Time Capsule show also, that they played this record, but it's from April 57. The group is called The Gypsies. The Gypsies on the Atlas label, and the song is called Why.
The stars, dear, still in the sky. For my love, just you and I know now, darling, there must be a way. That's why I dream of you. Still fades away. Oh, my love will come back someday. Now I know now, darling, there must be a way. That's why I dream of you. Oh, as years have gone by. You know that I love you, no other will do. Darling, why? Please tell me why. Without you, I whisper farewell. For my love, wondering so swell. I know now, darling, there must be a way. That's why I dream of you.
That's the sound of the Gypsies here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. April 57 release on Thomas Robinson's Atlas record label, song entitled Why. And I remember I bought that at the Allentown, PA show. Actually, a lot of the guys that go to that Allentown show, they get there early. Well, it's really an all-week thing. It's actually pretty cool. You go there, and the guys, well, before COVID, they would set up in a lot of the rooms so you can go if you're there earlier in the week, because some of the guys come from out of town, of course. They're coming from other states, from California and Texas, all over the place. And they come in and they set up in the rooms. You can check out their stuff. And then new people show up at the day of the show, local people. So I'm walking around with, $10,000 in my pockets, plus my checkbook. So I'm walking around and I'm looking, and I always would find great stuff there. So somebody will come up to you and say, I just picked this up, and they want to turn it over right away. So they may have picked this up maybe for about $400, and then they'll say they want to turn it right away. They say, look, I just want to turn this. Give me $700 for it. So you can inspect it and play it and whatnot. That's what happened with this record. So, of course, people knew what I was looking for. So, of course, they knew that my pants was bulging in the other areas, and then they came over to Johnny G and they said, do you need this? And I said, yes, I do. And then they would force themselves on me, and then I would buy the record. That's how that happened. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. This next song, I have to say, Kenny Mack requested this song. I think he requested it because maybe where he lives, he's not paying the most for gas these days. Thank God I retired at the right time, because I had to go into Newark, New Jersey every day. And there was and I was around when they had the gas shortage. I was in college. You were in these long lines, and it'd get right up to you, and then they'd say, sorry, we're out of gas. I said, are you kidding me? I just wasted all my gas. Anyway, that's what relates to this next tune. It's for Kenny Mack. The group is out. They're from the South Bronx. This is their second overall release. Came out on the Brunswick record label. Now, this tune credits two writers, Julius Dixon, who probably leased this master to this Brunswick label. That's the label it's on. And Beverly Ross, who recorded as half of Ronald and Ruby, and also wrote some pretty big hits like Dim Dim the Lights and Lollipop and The Girl of My Best Friend and Remember Then and Judy's Turn to Cry. Some big hits there. And she also co-wrote this tune here. This is by request for Kenny Mack. They're J-Tones from August 58 on the Brunswick label. It's called Gasoline.
I was out of gasoline, 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 I was out of gasoline. So Red Chief warning in the reservation said you're 800 miles from a gasoline station. Taking wouldn't look from over rough terrain. Me got no time for no octane. Me heat Big Chief, uranium cake, and he took off in his private plane. Gasoline, 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 I was out of gasoline. I was walking in the desert till I looked around. I was smack in the middle of an old ghost town. Met an old prospector with a big straw hat. I asked for gasoline, he said, I want
They're called the J-Tone. Whoops. They're called the J-Tones. The J-Tones from August 1958. That's on the Brunswick record label. Song entitled Gasoline. That's going out to Kenny Mack. Like I said, the gasoline's about $5 here. And you got to pump it yourself, too. You're going to pay a little bit more if you go to a gas station that pumps it for you. And anyway, what do I want to say about? Well, anyway, I'm not using my Cadillac. I took the pictures. I'm going to post it to sale. The Cadillac DTS is going to be. I'm going to put it on the Facebook Market thing. But I'm driving my parents' Buick LaCrosse that uses no gas. Well, it doesn't use a lot of gas. That's because I'm sitting in the car and it's like it feels like it shuts off at the lights when you stop, and you gotta I'm like, did the car stall or what? So I guess it's not using much gasoline. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Got a girl group sound up next, and it's a request for my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. It's by a girl group called The Blossoms, and they had 3 releases on the Capitol record label, plus other labels, of course. But Matey requested their second, the tune written by Ed Townsend. Yes, Ed Townsend of For Your Love fame. He also recorded for the Capitol label, I think, at this time. And this side features Fanita James on lead. So we go back to February 1958. We send this one out to Matey Campboy. These are The Blossoms on Capitol. It's called Have Faith in Me. This is for Matey.
Faith in me.
Going out to Matey Campboy there, The Blossoms, Fanita James on lead for that one, February 1958, release on the Capitol record label. That's their second of 3, Have Faith in Me. Darlene Love, also a member of that group. I forget the third girl. Have to check John Clemente's girl group book for that. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's go to Detroit now with a request for Nick Nicola for the only release for this artist on Robert West's Kudo label. His name is Joltin' Joe Howard, and he was a disc jockey on WCHB AM based in Inkster, Michigan. And this was a tune written by Sonny Woods, and the Falcons are backing him up on this side. So let's go back to May 1958 for Joltin' Joe Howard on the Kudo record label, Robert West's Kudo record label. This is by request for Nick Nicola. It's called Searching for My Baby.
bet your bottom dollar that I'm the only one she loves. Anytime, any place, anywhere, I will come to make amends. Yes, anytime, any place, anywhere, I will come to make amends. And I will trade your tears for diamonds just to see your face again. I climb a mountain, swim the ocean wide just to be by your side. I want to see you. I've been searching for so long, I'm sick and tired of being alone. Swim the ocean wide just to be by your side. I want to see you. I've been searching for so long, I'm sick and tired of being alone. I've been searching for my baby, the one and only girl I love. Yes, I've been searching for my baby, the one and only girl I love. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm the only one she loves.
That's out of Detroit there, Joltin' Joe Howard and the Uncredited Falcons backing him up on the Kudo record label. That's going out to Nick Nicola, May 1958. We'll send it out to Sugar Bear Sterling. He loves the piano in that tune. Searching for My Baby is the name of the tune. We continue here. Up next, we are in 1958. This is a request for listener Daniel Kubacki, this group out of Mount Vernon, New York, and this is actually Mount Vernon, not too far from Johnny G, by the way, and I like both sides of this 45, but the ballad is a killer tune here by a group called the Versatiles. Ben Sands, he's the lead singer on this, October 1958, by request for Daniel, the Versatiles on Atlantic. It's called Crying.
Oh, I crying, tears up in my eyes. I'm crying, 'cause you said goodbye. You left me sad and blue. Now I'm crying over
So it did sound like Crip Johnson. Where did I get that information? I got that information from somewhere. Shirley, we got to check the C. Call when we got Charlie. We got to check the background again for that versatile information, because up next, that was actually the Versatiles there from October '58 on Atlantic, a song entitled "Crying." Now, I read that, or there was an article that I saw, I have to find it, that said Ben Sands was the lead singer of that group. So I have to double check to make sure it was this song, because this next song, we're going to continue here with the request. This is a request for listener Evan Blatt. He's in our YouTube chat room. Now we go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for this record here. Now this master was recorded for Joe Auerbach's Phoebe record label, but it was leased to Leonard Chess's Checker label. Now the group is Sunny Day and the Versatiles. Now Sunny, he is really David Fatolsky, and he wrote this song, and the Versatiles are backing him up. And the Versatiles at this time were the Del Vikings, and this group of Del Vikings consisted of Crip Johnson, Chuck Jackson, Eddie Everett, and Don Jackson. They were the group at this time of this release, February 1958. Sunny Day and the Versatiles, going out to Evan Blatt on the Checker label. Another great two-sided 45. Who said that I was playing lots of great two-sided records? They had a request, yes. So this is for Evan. It's called Speedalac, to go with that Gas song we played by the J-Tones. It's for Evan.
Shiny black, slick as a whistle and sharp as a tack. Speed like that's a fine automobile. Got a cute little Billy sitting by my side. She wanna go for the speed like ride, four carburetors and an overdrive. Speed like a 205. That's a fine automobile.
As by request for Evan Blatt, Sunny Day and the Versatiles, February '58 release on the Checker record label. Speedalac is the name of the tune. A lot of times when I was doing the research for these records, all on my own, by the way, I would go and I look at a lot of different things. I look at the writer credits, I look at the publishing company, I look at Billboard and Cashbox notifications. Sometimes I'd get a lot of hits on certain search engines. I'd type in Pittsburgh vocal groups. I'd look for CD writings and look at sometimes when I'm looking for the lead singers, I'll type in the names of the group members I get from Ferdy Gonzalez's disco file, where he lists the different group members for the different types of when the groups recorded, different recording sessions. You look at and you think about it, like, how could, like, I have to say, remember I played a record a couple weeks ago that sounded like Kathy Young and the Innocents? Well, somebody contacted me and said, even though she sounded so much like Kathy Young, she was not Kathy Young. She was not, and he had a picture. He had a picture of her and everything, and said, but she sounded so much like Kathy Young and the Innocents. I forget what it was on the Revolvo label I played. Remember that record I played? I forget. Somebody requested it. Who requested that record? Somebody did. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue. Here we are in 1958. Here's a rare 45 and a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy, as we head out to San Francisco, California, or the Bay Area, the Oakland Bay Area, for these 45s that play pretty horrible, by the way. There is a bunch of records pressed in some Oakland pressing plant that are just horrible. I don't know if a 78 will do it well anyway. I haven't tried it yet. But I guess similar to that Skylight label, which I have those singles, by the way, on Skylight. But this one released in 1958. Some say it's from 63. No way. If you listen to the flip side of this, they're talking about Western movies and Big Boy Pete. Or no, Western movies they're talking about on the flip side. This is a 1958 release, not a 1963 release, but they're called the Tiffany's. And this is on the Rockin' Robin label. This is going out to Matey Campboy. The Tiffany's on Rockin' Robin. It's called I've Got a Girl.
Yeah.
They're called the Tiffany's by request for Matey Campboy. 1958 release on the Rockin' Robin record label. I've Got a Girl is the name of the tune. As we continue here, we move into 1959 now with a request for Evan Blatt. As this group is from Akron, Ohio, they recorded for Al Silver's Herald record label. They were called the Scarlet Tones. Now, two of these group members, Ronald Mosley and James Porter, would go on to join the Supremes that recorded for the Apt label back in 1960. Then in 1962, they added Ruby Nash to become Ruby and the Romantics, but prior to that, they recorded as the Scarlet Tones. This one came out in June of 1959. It's on the Ember record label. I've never seen a stock copy of this, only seen this in the promo, but this is for Evan Blatt, the Scarlet Tones on Ember. It's called Do You Remember?
Dum-a-dub-dub, dum-a-dub-dub-dub,
Do
you remember the night when first we met? And I told you I never shall forget you, my darling. You'll be here in my heart.
here in my heart.
You know I love you was all that I could say when it happened. I'd fallen all the way, oh my darling. You know I love you so. We were in love, love was ours. We were like two budding flowers caught in the web of happiness. For your love, love, darling, is all I possess. Now that I have you, I love you more, even more, and you know it. Oh girl that I adore, say you love me and stay here in my heart. We were in love, love was ours. We were like two budding flowers caught in the web of happiness. For your love, love, darling, is all I possess. Now that I have you, I love you more, even more, and you know it. Oh girl that I adore, say you love me and stay here in my heart. Do you remember the time first we met? And I told you I never shall forget.
That's going out to Evan Blatt there, the Scarlet Tones, June 59 release on the Ember, Al Silver's Ember record label. Do You Remember is the name of the tune. I got two copies of that 45. I showed you my other copy, not as clean as this one. This wasn't as a decent copy for sure. The other one not so clean, but it plays okay. Not as good as this one though. But let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. This is a request for listener Ronnie Sherman, this time for Lee Andrews and the Hearts, but minus Lee Andrews. No, he is not included in this group. They were known as the Five Hearts at this time. It came out on a label called Arcade Records, written by the second tenor for the group. His name is Butch Curry. He wrote this tune. They added a new lead singer at this time, or to sing on this record. His name is Tommy White. Okay, this is from 1959, going out to Ronnie Sherman, the Five Hearts on the Arcade record label. It's called Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. People don't change so fast. I thought our love was a love that would last. It's unbelievable. Think of the love we shared, knowing the nicest love began. Remember the day when it came to an end. Why did I let you go, knowing I love you so? I'm so alone and I want you back again, so my heart can clear the shadows of a soul that is so sad. Why you can brighten up this darkness, give me back the love I had. You say that it's too late, oh, and you tried to wait. Now someone new has control of your heart. Still I would like to know, because I love you so. Won't you come back? Let's make a brand new start. Won't you come back? Let's make a brand new start.
That's going out to Ronnie Sherman there. Those are the Five Hearts. Five Hearts with Tommy White on lead, 1959 release. It's on the Arcade record label. Yes, Reed, looks a lot like the early Scepter releases. Unbelievable is the name of the tune. Sounding a little bit like Lee Andrews, or trying to sound like Lee Andrews. But they also have releases as the Hearts on the Chancellor label and the Famous Hearts on the Guidon label. They actually re-recorded that song, which isn't as good. I agree with Marvin Pott on that. And this one here on Arcade Records. And supposedly this one also came out on the Casino label, supposedly, but I've never seen it. But again, if you look at G&H Publishing, I think that's Barry Gold and Jocko Henderson. That is their publishing out of Philadelphia. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures, and we are in 1959. Here's a request for listener Tom Shaughnessy, and I'm also going to send this one out to Mady Campboy because I know she likes this group, and he requested Earl Lewis and the Channels on Bobby Robinson's Fire record label. Now, this Fire label was specifically created for a reason. He was being sued, that is, Bobby Robinson was being sued by Herman Lubinsky for stealing his singer, or he thought he was his singer, Wilbert Harrison, away from Savoy Records. And what made matters worse, after he recorded Wilbert Harrison and he had a monster hit with Kansas City, he said, wait a minute here. So knowing that he was making all this money on this hit record, Kansas City, he said, I better create a new label so he can't, I can't come after me on this other label, make a completely different label. He called it Fire Records. And this was the second overall release on the Fire label, and it was by Earl Lewis and the Channels. So this is going out to Tom Shaughnessy. I also send it out to Mady Campboy. August 59 on Fire. It's called My Heart is Sad, the Channels.
My heart is so sad and lonely since you left me only to face life alone. When I
Blast going out to Tom Shaughnessy there, Earl Lewis and the Channels. August 1959 release on the Fire record label, My Heart Is Sad. We'll also send it out to Matey Campboy. And by the way, Robinson lost his lawsuit against Savoy, ended up paying $20,000. Now, I think that's a lot of money in 1959, has to be, even though we look at $20,000 maybe nowadays not being a lot. But back in 1959, that certainly was a lot. Let's continue. Here we are in 59. Here's a request for listener Emnon as we go back out to the West Coast. This is on the Valor record label. This is a subsidiary of Demon Records that the Olympics recorded on, but I don't know anything about this group. They're called the Rockfellers. Rock-Fellers is the name of the group. It was released in January 59 on Valor, on the Valor label. This is for Emnon. The song is called, one word, it's called Hours, for Emnon. Like that one there in the YouTube chat room. That's by request for Emnon. The Rockfellers out of California on the Valor label from January 59. Song entitled Hours. As we continue here, you hope you're digging on these cool records out of Johnny G's collection. If you want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you're new to the program, watching on YouTube, tell your friends about it. We need more subscribers here to the Vinyl Treasures show. And up next, a request for Evan Blatt as we go to Newark, New Jersey. Now, this group's debut single was their biggest hit. First release on B. Castlin's Mascot record label. Then the song was called Book of Love. You all know that tune. And similar to a previous deal that this B. Castlin did with Leonard Chess and his Chess Checker Argo subsidiaries to distribute her records nationally, as he also did for the Pastels. on the tune Been So Long, and I think there's a few others, but eventually the group's other releases ended up being totally released by Leonard Chess, and this time it's on the Argo label, but these are the Monotones, as this was their fourth and final release on the Argo label. Features Charles Patrick on lead. We go back to July 59. This is going out to Evan Blatt. I like this tune here by the Monotones on Argo. It's called Fools Will Be Fools. This is for Evan.
Fools will be fools, that's why they fall in love. Fools will be fools, they never obey the rules. No wonder they are fools, that's why they fall in love. Fools will be fools, that's why they fall in love. Fools always say, I think I'll take a chance on this game of romance. That's why they fall in love. Fools will be fools, that's why they fall in love. Love is gone too hard and soul. Love is gone too young and old. Love is played by fools like me. So why don't you open your eyes and see that fools lose their minds and fool their hearts with shame in this old-fashioned game. This game we know has love. That's why they fall in love.
That's the sound of the Monotones here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and a request for listener Evan Blatt. Charles Patrick on lead, the Monotones, their fourth single on the Argo record label, released in July 59. It's called Fools Will Be Fools. That is a fact. As we continue here, we are in 59. Let's continue with this request for Matey Campboy. It's on Hunter Hancock's Swingin' record label out of Hollywood, California. Again, this is another example when the band leader gets top billing, and it's tenor saxophone is Big J McNeely. Then below, under his name, it mentions vocal by Little Sonny, who is really Sonny Warner. Now, this charted nationally. This was number 44 on Billboard, 41 on Cashbox, a big number one record in many places like KWBR in Oakland, California, and KENS in San Antonio, Texas. So this is going out to my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. I know she likes this song. This one from February 59. This is the original by Big J McNeely and band, featuring Little Sonny Warner on lead on the Swingin' label. It's called There Is Something on Your Mind, for Matey.
There is something on your mind by the way you look at me. There is something on your mind, honey, by the way you look at me. Can what you're thinking bring happiness, or will it bring misery? No, no, please don't try to tell me. I think I understand. No, no, you don't have to tell me. pretty baby. I think I understand. You want me to try and forget you, but I'll do the best I can. If you ever think about me, if I ever cross your mind, girl, if you ever think about me, pretty baby, if I ever cross your mind, well, you know I'm yours, and I know you're mine. Do 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 do.
As going out to Matey Campoy there. That's the original version of There Is Something on Your Mind, done by Big J McNeely and band. Lead vocalist there, Sonny Warner, Little Sonny Warner on lead. February 59 release, came out on Hunter Hancock's Swingin' label out of Los Angeles, California. 1960, but Bobby Marchand covered it, added some cool lyrics about shooting both of them in the head when they finds him cheating on him in the bed there. Anyway, it's actually interesting lyrics by Bobby Marchand. Anyway, let's continue. Here we are, 1959. Here's a flip side from last week, requested by Darrell Letts. Played the A side for Timothy on the early Cold Picks release for Eddie Friend and the Empires. The song was called Tears in My Eyes, and it was Darrell Letts asked Johnny G to flip it over before we file it back down in the No Humidity basement. This is from April 59, Eddie Friend and the Empires on the Cold Picks label. The song is called Single and Free. This is for Darrell.
If you want someone to tease you, baby, just call on me. If you want someone to please you, oh, baby, just call on me. Alright, for I am single and free. If you ever feel downhearted, baby, just call on me. If you ever feel downhearted, baby, just call on me. Alright, for I am single and free. Darling, I have loved you for a long, long, long time. Soon I hope you'll tell me that you're mine, all mine. If you want someone to kiss you, baby, just call on me. If you want someone to kiss you, baby, just call on me. Alright, for I am single and free. Baby, just call on me. Baby, just call on me. Alright, for I am single and free. Darling, I have loved you for a long, long, long time. Soon I hope you'll tell me that you're mine, all mine. If you want someone to kiss you, baby, just call on me.
you go. That's going out to Daryl Letts, Eddie Friend, and the Empires with a B-side there. Song entitled Single and Free. That's the flip side of Tears in My Eyes, released in April of 59 on the Colpix record label. We are in 1959. One more record out of 1959, and it's a request for Joe Shacatano for this group from Harlem, New York. This is their fourth of 10 on the Cub record label, and going out to Joe Shacatano, the great Ray Pollard on lead. Now, this song, I think this is a cover. This song was first done, I think, the tune written by Ed Townsend. I think Ed Townsend and the Holidays on the Prep record label. I think that is the first release of this tune, and this is the cover from June of 59. Let's give it a spin. The Wanderers, Ray Pollard and the Wanderers, is for Joe Shacatano on the Cub record label, and their version of I'm Not Ashamed.
I'm not ashamed, 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 I'm not ashamed to want you. I'm not ashamed to cry. I'm not ashamed to stare when you walk by. When you walk by, each word you say delights me, and when I hear your name, the thought of you drives me insane. I'm not ashamed for being in love with you. I'm not ashamed, I'm not ashamed. I'll tell the world I'm not ashamed that I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I want you to know.
That's the great Ray Pollard and the Wanderers there. Going out to Joe Shacatano, June 1959 release on the Cub record label. Song entitled I'm Not Ashamed. Let's move into 1960 now with a rare 45. Rare 45 out of Fort Pierce, Florida. Rick, do you know where Fort Pierce, Florida is? Is that close to you? Anybody down in Florida way? What part of Florida is that? I am not familiar with the state of Florida where that might be, but this is on Irv Vulgamore's, interesting, Irv Vulgamore's Vulco record label. And I say from the print on this that this record was pressed by NRC Records. They had their own pressing plant, by the way, and their own unique style on their letters. If you look on the NRC label and look at other labels, I forget the other labels that there were, but there are a few, and this was one of them. I'll have both sides of this 45. This is my addition to the show tonight, and we're going to feature the up-tempo side tonight. They're called the Flaming Hearts. The Flaming Hearts, released in September of 1960 on the Vulco label. It's called I Don't Mind.
Bombity, 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 da da. Bombity, 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 da. Bombity, 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 da.
Well, baby, I don't mind, I don't care, I don't mind. Well, baby, if you go dating, please don't let me keep you waiting. 'Cause baby, I'll be saying, I don't mind, I don't care, I don't mind, I don't care. Well, baby, I'll be leaving, and darling, don't deceive me. 'Cause baby, I'll be saying, I don't mind, I don't care. What you do, I don't mind, baby. I don't care. I don't mind, baby. I don't care. Well, baby, I'll be leaving. And darling, don't deceive me. 'Cause baby, I'll be staying. I don't mind. I don't care.
They're called the Flaming Hearts. Flaming Hearts on the Vulco label. Vulco Records out of Fort Pierce, Florida, September 1960 release. Song entitled I Don't Mind, but I did mind on the price on that 45. It's not a cheap 45 at all, and it's a very rare record. We're going to hear the flip side, of course, next week, but it's worth it. Both sides of this 45, well worth it. Let's move into, or we still stay in 1960 with a request for my number one California listener, Matey Campoy, another great two-sided 45 for this group called the Sheiks, and a popular name for groups. Now, Louis Silvani says they're from Virginia, but I really disagree. I think this group is out of New York. The song written by John Berry, Donald Razor, and Don Covey. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know, but this is the intended A-side. I have this one on the purple painted on stock Amy label, which I hate. You know, I hate styrene 45s, but anyway, but I love the song. This is going out to Matey Campoy, June 1960, the Sheiks on the Amy label. It's called Come On Back.
Oh, come on back. Come on back. Come on back to me. You know I love you too, baby. Love no one but you. Oh, come on back, baby. You know I'm so all alone, baby. In my lonely, lonely room, baby. So come back soon. 'Cause darling, I need you more than anyone can know. And since we've been apart,
come on back, baby, and let me hold you in my arms and kiss your tender lips, baby. Come on back to me. Come back. Come on, run on back to me. Oh, baby. Oh, you know I'm daddy need you. You know how I love you. Oh. Come on back, come on, run, baby. Get my feet, come on back.
Those are the Sheiks going out to Matey Campboy, June 1960 release on the Amy record label. Come On Back, the name of the tune. We are in 1960. Let's go to the Bronx, New York, this time with a request for listener Timothy. This group first recorded as the Metros on the Just label back in 1958. Then they changed their name to the Crystals. This is an all-male group. This is not a female group. I think if you go to, who was the DJ? Scott, no. He was a disc jockey on, he used to do Saturday nights on WCBS FM, and then I think he was a good guy also on WABC, and I think he died of a heart attack, but I think he had in 1960, a Saturday night TV show. I don't know if it was out of Long Island or where it was. I'm trying to remember his name, but if you check on YouTube and you look up this group, they're actually lip syncing this song on that show. Somehow the clip, I'm trying to think of his name, and it'll come to me. But anyway, this is a request for Timothy from February 1960 for the Crystals. Now, Joe Garcia, he's the lead singer here. This is on the Cub record label. The song is called Watching You. This is for Timothy.
Watching, 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 watching you. Watching, 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 I'm watching you.
I'm watching you, but you're watching him as he dances by. That tender look of love in your eyes used to be just for me. I'm watching you, but you're watching him, and I hear his sigh. Oh darling, can it really be true? True that I'm losing you. The lips I kiss, the arms that held me tight, or the tender thrills that you hold tonight. I'll bet that he's feeling great, oh yes, really great as he dances by. 'Cause I can see him watching you, telling me goodbye. Oh, the lips I kiss, the arms that held me tight, that he's feeling great, oh yes, really great as he dances by. 'Cause I can see him watching you, telling me goodbye, telling me goodbye, telling me
Now I got it. Jack Spector. That was him, Jack Spector. He was a CBS disc jockey for a bit, or for a while. He used to do a Saturday night show in the 80s or the late 70s, I forget. But he had a TV show, and they sang that song on the TV show. There used to be a clip on YouTube. That's what I meant. But anyway, that's for Timothy there. Those are the Crystals. Joe Garcia on lead, the Crystals, February 1960s on the Cub record label. Song entitled Watching You is the name of the tune. We are in 1960. Let's go for this request for Nick Nicola. This singer's from Ocala. Did I say that right? Terrell, Ocala, Florida. And began his recording career back in 1959 with a release on the Vim record label. Maybe it was picked up by this label, I'm not sure, but this is his second release on the Gala label, which is out of Vidalia, Georgia. His name is Billy Sandlin, and he wrote this tune, and there's a group backing him up on this. This is by request for Nick Nicola, November 1960, Billy Sandlin. Billy Sandlin on the Gala label. It's called Teenager's Dream.
Some dream of mansions made of gold, others dream of power and wealth untold. But a teenager's dream is only a dream come true. Only a dream come true. At things we say, till you start dreaming, you're going astray. But a teenager's dream is only a dream come true. A dream come true. We dream it. Faith in God, and someday we'll be with the touch from His hand. We'll be what we dream we can. They'll call us fools for things we do. Why can't they help us instead make us blue? For we're not as bad as they make us seem.
November 1960 release there for Billy Sandlin and group, going out to Nick Nicola on the Gala record label out of Vidalia, Georgia. Song entitled Teenager's Dream. As we stay in 1960 with a request for listener Joe Shacatano and a solo effort for Lee Andrews of the Hearts. And this tune written by Philadelphian Bob Marcucci, who discovered Frankie Avalon and Fabian. He is also a co-owner of the Chancellor record label, and the other writer on this is band leader Peter DeAngelis. And he was the other part owner of Chancellor record label. And they wrote this song for Lee Andrews. This is from June of 1960. And it's Lee Andrews on the Jordan label. I have this on yellow vinyl, although it looks like it's changing color. But it's on yellow vinyl for Joe Shacatano, Lee Andrews, and the tune If You Only Cared, for Joe.
If you only loved me the way
find a place inside your heart for me if you only care. Oh, how happy I'd be. One can never live with only half a love. Two hearts can only give this love I'm dreaming of. Want me, need me, please, and find a place in your heart for me if you only care. Oh, how happy I'd be. Oh, the world would be mine. Happiness I would find if you love me, if you only care.
As going out to Joe Shacatano there, the great Lee Andrews, and chorus from June 1960 on the Jordan record label, If You Only Cared is the name of the tune. Hope you're digging on the tunes here as we continue here. We go into 1961 now. Here's a request for Rick in Philly for this group out of Brooklyn, New York. They had releases on the Watts, W-A-T-T-S, and the RCA record label, but this was their very last release that came out on Joe Carlton's Carlton label. This tune written by Richard Barrett, and they're called The Impacts. Now, the red promos of this have a typo, and it's only on the red promos because the name of the tune is called Darling, well, the real name is Darling, Now You're Mine, but the promos have a mistake. They left off the W in now, so they look like it's like Darling, No You're Mine. So they totally messed that up. But anyway, that's the difference between the stocks and the promos. I'm featuring it on the red promo here, so it's got the wrong title. And this one from March 61. These are the Impacts. It's going out to Rick in Philly on Carlton Records with Darling, Now You're Mine.
You know, I know, we know what they say. Happiness is hard to find, but I found you. Now you are mine. Whoa. Darling, now you're mine. They say love is hard to find, but I found you. Now you are mine. Whoa. Darling, now you're mine. I searched the whole world over, looking for a jewel like you. Though gems may be precious, there is nothing more precious than you. They said love was hard to find, but I found love
As going out to Rick in Philly. Those are the Impacts. The Impacts from Brooklyn, New York on the Joe Carlton's Carlton record label, March 61 release, Darling, Now You're Mine. That is the official title, but the promos say, Darling, Know You're Mine. And this group also would record as the Blue Chips on the RCA and the Groove record labels. Let's continue here. We are in 1961. We head back, actually we go to Bridgeport, Connecticut for this next request, and it's for Kenny Mack. He requested a B-side to this 45 on the Les K record label. The A-side I used to hear quite often, first by DJ Gus Gossard. It was called Long Tall Girl. The flip is an excellent ballad. Came out on Les K Records, a subsidiary of Belltone Records. Features Matthew Morales on lead. This one from September of 1961. Here are the Carnations. The Carnations for Kenny Mack. On the Les K label, it's called Is There Such a World for Kenny.
I'm dreaming of a world today where we can live and love each day. Oh, where can it be? Oh, where can it be? This world of mine. It has to be a world of plenty, just for you and me. Oh, where can it be? Oh, where can it be? This world of mine. It's a paradise just for you and I. It has a moon and a sky. I wonder if there is such a place where we may both live our own way. It has to be a world of love. It has to be a world of peace. Oh, where can it be? Oh, where can it be? This world of mine. This world of mine.
They're liking that request by Kenny Mack there, the Carnations. Carnations out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, came out on the Les K record label September 61. Is There Such a World is the name of that one. Matthew Morales, he's the lead singer. That's with Joe Renee and his orchestra. And the flip side is a cool tune called Long Tall Girl, so stay tuned for that. Let's go to Trenton, New Jersey for this next group. It's a request for listener Tom Shaughnessy. Last week I featured The Revels with the original version of this tune, and Tom Shaughnessy sent Johnny G an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com and asked if I had the cover of the song as done by the Vines. I think George Tompkins also mentioned that in the chat room, but this is on Clarence Johnson's CJ record label. Now, the tune written by Alfred Gatewood, as I mentioned last week, and first done in 57 by the Revels on the Darrow label. And the group members for this group are Carl Bonner, first tenor, James Winder, second tenor, David Mudd, baritone, and Moses Key. He was the bass. The lead singer on this, his name is Major McBride. Let's go back to March 1961. We send it out out to Tom Shaughnessy. These are the Vines on CJ and their rendition of the tune I Must See You Again.
I must see you again. You again. I must see you again. I don't know where or when, but I must see you again. This just can't be the end. I know not where or when, but this I only know. Oh yeah, that I must see you again. And I saw you at a party Saturday night under the dark blue light, and suddenly you turned my way, and darling, it was love at first sight. Why got to see you smile when I look in your eyes? And I don't know where or when. Oh yeah, but I must see you again. Oh yeah, I just gotta see you again, baby. Oh, I don't know what I'll do if I don't see you one more time. I just gotta look in your eyes, please, please. I just gotta see you one more time.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's going out to Tom Shaughnessy, the Vines out of Trenton, New Jersey, March 61. Their cover of The Revels, I Must See You Again. That one there on the CJ record label. We stay in 1961. We go to Philadelphia with this request for listener Nick Nicola. This group began recording back in 1953 as the Eddie Carter Quartet, that with releases on MGM, Grand, Jubilee, and the Sound record labels. And they also had releases on George Gollner's Gone Lyric labels as the Carter Rays. Now, Nick requested the group's very last single that came out on the Mala record label. Came out in May of 61. It features Harold Cade on lead. It's going out to Nick Nicola, the Carter Rays. The Carter Rays from May 61 on the Mala label. And I know George also likes this tune, George Tompkins. The tune is called Bless You.
Bless you for the endless love you give. Bless you for showing me the way to live. Bless you for the miracle you bring, turning winter into spring, teaching silent hearts to sing. All my fears. Bless you for painting rainbows with my tears.
Don't tell Sterling Johnny G got caught here. I did get caught. I was posting. We're here with the Oldies and More Radio Network. I forgot to post on their website there. That's what took me so long. But anyway, what a great tune that is. That's going out to Nick Nicola. Those are the Carterets. Harold Cade on lead, the Carterets. Their very last single came out on the Mallow record label from May 61, song entitled Bless You, as we have now joined Oldies and More Radio. We are in 1961. Now, last week I played a request for Joe Shacatano by this group out of Mount Vernon, New York. They were called the Mellow Kings, and Joe Shacatano requested the side called Penny. They had 9 releases in all on Al Silver's Herald label. This was their 8th, and we're going to flip it over here before we file it back down in the no humidity basement. This is from March 61. It features Bob Scholl on lead. The late Bob Scholl, he died in a boating accident, an unfortunate boating accident. Was it in the 1980s? I forget when, but it was a long, long time ago. But these are the Mellow Kings from March 61 on Herald Records. It's called Till There Were None.
Used to hurt me, you made me cry, one little teardrop for every night, till there were none to cry over you. You broke my heartstrings, you made them ache. Each time you cheated, what would break till there were none to break over you. I long to be free, your lips would never be true. I couldn't be free, couldn't stop from loving you. So I just waited till you could see none of the others loved you like me, till there were none, and I was the one. So I just waited till you could see none of the others loved you like me, till there were none, and I was the one. Till there were none, only 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 one.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Mellow Kings. Mellow Kings there from March 61. That's the B-side to their 8th release on the Herald record label, Till They Were None. They're originally from Mount Vernon. I remember my aunt told me, when she was alive, a long time ago, when she knew I was into records, she said, I met Bob Scholl they were playing at a club in Yonkers, New York, and they were singing all their hits. But so after the show, they ended up going to the bar for drinks and intermingling, and she was there sitting at the bar with Bob Scholl talking about all his hits and whatnot, which would have been a cool thing. I mean, I was too young to be there. Of course, I would love to have been there. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1961. Let's go to this request for Rick in Philly, as this singer was one of the lead singers of the Dominoes when Clyde McPhatter left. He replaced Clyde McPhatter as the lead singer of the Dominoes, but he had He had a successful solo career, had over 60 releases on the Brunswick label, believe it or not, for all those years. And he was also called Mr. Excitement. Of course, I'm talking about Jackie Wilson, had so many big hits. Lonely Teardrops, a big #1 record for him in 1958 for Brunswick. This was his 18th release on Brunswick, a tune written by Alonzo Tucker and Bobby Adams, and this charted number 18 on KIMN in Denver, Colorado, and it's a request for Rick in Philly. We go back to December 61 for Jackie Wilson on Brunswick. It's called There'll Be No Next Time. This is for Rick.
Down the line, I'll meet someone who wants a true love, and darling, there'll be no next time. You make all kinds of promises. What made you change your mind? Someday you're going to miss me, but darling, there'll be no next time.
That's the great Jackie Wilson there, by request for Rick in Philly. December 61 release, his 18th release on the Brunswick record label. Song entitled There'll Be No Next Time. Yes, they will. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime now. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show, you're just watching in on the YouTube channel, Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. Please subscribe to my channel. Also, click the like button, hit the bell to get notifications when I go live. We move into 1962 now with a request for Ronnie Sherman, this group from Washington, D.C. It's their only release on Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label and an answer song to the Shirelles' big hit Soldier Boy, released in February of 1962. This came out in March 62. A tune written by lead singer Don Covey, Robert Spencer, and John Barry, produced by Wally Roker, who was the bass of the Heartbeats, and the bass of the Wally Roker of the Heartbeats, yes, the bass of the Heartbeats, and Don Covey, and of course Don Covey on lead. This is March 62. These are the Soldier Boys. The Soldier Boys on the Scepter label for Ronnie Sherman. It's called I'm Your Soldier Boy.
I'm your soldier boy as I travel around the world. I'm glad to know when I return, you will still be my girl. Oh yeah. I'm your soldier boy, even though I'm so far away. I promise you, my sweetheart, in my heart you will stay. I'll keep your picture right there by my heart until, yes, until death do we part. Darling, I love you, and I miss you so much. I miss you so much. No one in this whole wide world knows how much. And each night I pray to return to you. I love you. I'm your soldier boy, and I'll always be my love. Please pray that I'll return to you safely, my love. I'm your
Those are the Soldier Boys going out to Ronnie Sherman, March 62 release on the Scepter record label. I'm Your Soldier Boy is the name of the tune. We are in 1962. Here's a request for Nick Nicola. This group, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, began singing gospel music as the Arpeggios, but in 1959 they changed their name to the Arrows and switched to R&B music with release on the Aladdin record label. In 1962, they changed their name again to the Convincers with a release on the Movin' record label. Then later in 62, they switched back to the Arpeggios with this release on the Aries record label, released in December of 1962 as requested by Nick Nicola. It features Mel Alexander on lead. Give a listen to the Arpeggios on Aries. It's called I'll Be Singing. This is for Nick.
I'll be singing, 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 singing because I'm free, and I know you're waiting somewhere for me. I'll be singing, singing, singing,
nothing can make me feel blue, for I never have a feeling like this, only when I'm with you. I know you will make me so happy, but my heart feels the same for you, and I will be together. Yes, darling, we will always sing. I'll be singing, 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 and nothing can tear us apart, for I will always love you right from the depths of my heart, right from the depths of my heart.
Those are the Arpeggios. Arpeggios, they're out of California. Well, yeah, I guess at that time they were out in California. It's going out to Nick Nicola. Their December 62 release, Mel Alexander on lead. I'll Be Singing is the name of the tune. A couple weeks ago, I played a request for listener Rick in Philly. This quintet from Cleveland, Ohio, called The Five Quails, first recorded on the Mercury label back in 1957. Then with a couple of group changes, group member changes, they relocated to Detroit and added a new lead singer and signed with Harvey Fuqua's Harvey record label. And what did I play for Rick? It was called It's Been a Long Time. Yeah, Been a Long Time. That was for Rick in Philly. Darrell Letts and Andrew Turner asked me to flip the 45 over. This was actually the intended A-side of the 45 for this group, the Five Quails. Later on, they dropped the 5, just recorded as the Quails. It features Harold Studbury on lead. We go back to March 62, the Five Quails on Harvey. It's called Get to School on Time. This is for Darrell and Andrew.
Gotta get to school on time. Ran out the front door using no sense. Ran through the backyard, jumped over the fence. Got to get to school on time. Got to get to school on time. Gotta get. Can't afford to fuss. Yes, I got to catch my bus. Got to get to school on time. Homework in my right hand, notebook in my jeans. Got to run faster, the light is turning green. Got to get to school on time. Got to get to school on time. Got to get. Can't hesitate, cause I might be late. Got to get to school on time. If I got up early, I wouldn't be in this touch. Running and a stumbling, I'm missing my school bus. Slipping and a sliding all over the ground. No, I don't want to be no Charlie Brown, yeah. Running past the graveyard, down 110. Got up to the corner, whoops, missed the pin. Got to get to school on time. Got to get. Got to get to school on time. Got to get. If they close the door, I won't be there no more. I got to get to school on time. Gotta get.
One boy, don't you be late, son. You should have got up a little bit earlier. You wouldn't be running and stumbling. Now look at you. Now you a shame.
If I got up early, I won't be in this touch. Running and a stumbling, I'm missing my school bus. Slipping and a sliding all over the ground.
No, I don't want to be no Charlie Brown. they done closed the door.
March 62 release there for the Five Quails. Going out to Andrew Turner and Darrell Letts. Got to get to school on time on the Harvey record label. Johnny G don't have to get to work no more on time, although they've been calling me at work, and I've been helping them as much I can. Let's continue. Here we are, 1962, and this is a request for Nick Nicola. Now, this singer, Sherman Nichols, he was the lead singer of the Darts. So if you know Sherman and the Darts on the Fury label, and also the Darts that recorded for the App label, he is the lead singer of that group. And this is from July 62. This is going out to Nick Nicola, Sherman Nichols. It's on the Poplar label. It's called Sticking With You. This is for Nick. That's Sherman Nichols by request for Nick Nicola, July 62. It's on the Poplar record label. Stickin' With You is the name of the tune. You may be able to sneak that one out of some of the dollar boxes if you find it. Let's continue here. And last week I played a request for Ronnie Sherman by the Dubs. Their release on the End record label, it was called This To Me Is Love. And the flip side is the A side, which charted but only made it up to number 97 on WIBG in Philadelphia. And I think the Northern Soul Collectors are looking for this song. It has the kind of beat that they're looking for, I think, or the Belgian pop. I don't know who. I just call it music anyway. But Richard Blandon on lead. February 62, the Dubs on the End record label. It's called Now That We Broke Up.
Bump, shoo shoo, do you want shoo shoo? Bump, shoo shoo, do you want shoo shoo? Bump, shoo shoo, do you want shoo shoo? Bump, do you want shoo shoo shoo?
Now that we broke up, my love, shoo shoo shoo.
shoot. Shoo-doo-wah, shoot, shoot, bop. Shoot, shoot. Shoo-doo-wah, shoot, shoot, bop. Shoo-doo-wah, shoot.
Those are the Dubs, Richard Blandon and the Dubs, February 62 on the End record label. Now That We Broke Up is the name of the tune. We continue now. We move into 1963 with this singer-songwriter, hails from Augusta, Georgia, started his recording career back in 1960 on the Adair record label, but has many on different labels, United Artists, Liberty, Cutlass, Delphi, and others. Here's one he did on a label called Cantor Records, released in March of 1963, and it's a request for listener Nick Nicola. His name is Roy Smith on the Cantor label. It's called He's Not Your Type. This is for Nick.
He's not your type of guy. You don't want the one who makes you cry. He's a two-faced pretender, so don't you surrender. He's not, no, he's not your type. He's not your kind of guy. Don't be who you hope. Don't build them too high. He'll lead you astray. Just let then go on his way. He's not, no, he's not your type. I know that he's telling you lie after lie, and sooner or later he's gonna make you cry. So listen I love you faithfully. He's not, no, he's not your type.
March 63 release there for Roy Smith, going out to Nick Nicola. Came out on the Cantor record label. He's Not Your Type is the name of the tune. We stay in 63 with a request for Cheryl Morgan. We go back to Bridgeport, Connecticut for this group called the Chateaus. They were founded by group member Paul Lecca. Is it Lecca? Or Lecca, Paul Lecca. Other members were Dan Frazier and Gary DiCarlo and Johnny Castle. For their first release, though, they recorded as the Glenwoods back in 1961 on the Jubilee label. Then they changed their name to the Chateaus and recorded this tune that features Johnny Castle on lead. Now, this is on the Choral label. Now, two members of this group, Gary DiCarlo and Paul Lecca, went on to become Steam in 1969, I guess, or 68 or 69. Had a big hit with Na 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 Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye. But they got their start here, first as the Glenwoods, then as the Chateaus. This is for Cheryl Morgan, June 63. The Chateaus on Choral. It's called Honest I Will, parentheses, My Pledge to You, for Cheryl. Going out to Cheryl Morgan there. Those are the Chateaus. Chateaus with Johnny Castle on lead from June 63 on the Choral record label. Honest I Will, parentheses, My Pledge to You. I think I got to change this needle here. And this is not that old, this needle. But certain records do not sound the best on there. Others do, others don't. So I'm going to change that needle for next week. But anyway, we got 3 more 45s to go here before we sign off here on the Vinyltreasure show. Last week I played a request for Rick in Philly, this Latino group from Long Island, New York, on Al Smith's Alco label out of Babylon, New York. They're called the Fabulous Pearl Divines, and last week I played So Lonely, an excellent ballad for Rick in Philly. The flip side is a cool up-tempo, and Two members of this were written by two members of the group, Danny and Diego Torres. And Danny Torres, he's on lead for this October 63. Give a listen to the Fabulous Pearl Divines on the Alco record label. It's called You've Been Gone.
You've been gone for such a long time, my dear. I miss you so. And I want the whole world to know you've been gone for such a long time, dear. Oh dear, I need you so. And I will never let you go. I love you, darling, oh I do. And I will never let you go. You've been gone for such a long time, my dear. I love you so. And I will never let you go. You've been gone.
I think that's a great record. Great two-sided 45, worth every dollar it's worth. I have to say, those are the Fabulous Pearl Divines, October 63, on the Alco label. You've Been Gone is the name of the tune. Two more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here. As we move into 1964, we go to Richmond, Virginia for this next group. Came out on the Key record label. They have this lone release, and it's actually a cover song and a request for listener Nick Nicola. It's a cover of the Lee Andrews and the Hearts tune from 1957, but this one released in 1964. Going out to Nick. The Caravels, apostrophe S on this group. The Caravels on the Key record label, and their rendition of the tune Teardrops. This is for Nick.
I sit in my room, looking out at the rain. My tears are like crystals, they cover my window pane. I'm thinking of our lost romance and how it should have been. Oh, if we only could start over again. I know you'll never forgive me, dear, for running out on you. I was wrong to take a chance with somebody new. I sit in my room looking out at the rain. My tears are like crystals, they cover my window pane. I know you'll never forgive me, dear, for running out on you. Oh, how I long to do the things we used to do. I'm lonely and I'm blue, yet I'll try to get along without you.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there by request for listener Nick Nicola. Those are the Caravels. Caravels from 1964. Came out on the Key record label. Their rendition of the Lee Andrews and the Hearts tune, Teardrops, done by a number of groups. I have another California, what is that red label? I'm trying to think of that red label. Somebody else does Teardrop. The Charmers or the Charmettes or something like that. I got other versions of Teardrops I should play here on the show. But anyway, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to Cool 45s out of my collection. Every Saturday night from 9 to midnight, I play my 1950s and early 60s 45s for you, the Vinyl Treasure listeners. And lots of requests, so send me your requests at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Those of you diehards that tuned into the entire show, thank you all for that. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. I couldn't do it without Charlene, folks. And I'll be back next Saturday night beginning at 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight, right here on YouTube. And also, we did a little bit of overtime here, 45 minutes on the Oldies and More Radio Network. So tell your friends about it. Need to increase the subscribers. Make sure you click the thumbs up button on the YouTube. Very important. They like it when people do that to the programs here. They want me to do some other things. They want me to do some promos and whatnot for the show. So I may do that, but I've been busy going through my records here. I've been pulling stuff out for the 60s show on Monday night. That's on 8 o'clock. And again, finding your requests intermingled in all these boxes. I got like 30 years to catch up to of records that I purchased that I haven't yet gone through. I don't even know certain things that I have. I've had requests for some gospel 45s I'm looking for. I have them somewhere here in this mess, but I'm still going through the records, and I gotta make space to file stuff away, go through more. So anyway, you'll have to cope. You just have to be patient, and we'll eventually get to all the requests and whatnot. So thank you all for tuning in again tonight. Hope you enjoyed the tunes tonight, and thank you all for your requests. Got some really nice requests from the listeners. You guys really know your music, really no stinkers in there, all good stuff. And so stay tuned for more on future Vinyl Treasure Show. We're going to close the show tonight with a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy, and the closers from July 64, This group is out of California, but out of Los Angeles, California, but it's on a Philadelphia label. This is on the Tamara record label. This group first recorded back in 1962 on the Marquee label. You might know their tune, I Want a Chance. I don't even think the first press is like that. It might, I Want a Chance or something, which I have played here. But their first release was a song called I Want a Chance. They were called The Vows. And this is a release by them in 1964 on this Philly label. The lead singer on this, her name is Helen Simpson. Helen Simpson on lead. The closer, by request for Matey Campboy, The Vows from July 64 on Tamara. It's called Dottie. That's going to do it, folks. Johnny G got to go relax, as I'm supposed to go walking tomorrow with Barbara. It's supposed to be a really nice day. I got to get the exercise in now in retirement, as it's kind of fun getting up when you want to do it. So, Dwayne, I am kind of adjusting, but I don't have enough time. I really don't have enough time. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see some of you next Saturday night. I'll see some of you on Monday night, my All 60s show, where I feature lots of soul 45s out of my collection. So everybody stay well, and I'll see you next Saturday or next Monday night. Just want to say, everybody, so long for Matey. Vows.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, you've been stood up. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, you've been stood up. Daddy, don't you wait any longer. He stood me up. Daddy, don't you wait any longer. He stood me up. Any longer, he stood you up. Oh no, oh yes, oh no, oh yes, oh no, you've been stood up. Daddy, won't you come with me? He stood me up. Daddy, won't you come with me? Yes, he stood me up. Daddy, won't you come with me? He stood you up. Oh no, oh yes, oh no, oh yes, oh no, you've been stood up. He said he'd be here at 7:45, but I don't mind it if he's a little late. He stood you up, Daddy, once before you said for him anymore. God is so quiet tonight. I'm gonna wait right here. Know that he is never on time. I know that he'll be here. Daddy, don't you wait any longer. He stood you up. Oh no, oh yes. Oh yes, you've been stood up. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, you've been stood up. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, you've been stood up. Daddy, don't you wait any longer. Come and go with me. I guess I'll have to go with you.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it for the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's show you this last record here. Great tune by The Vows. It's called Dottie. It says, wait, what does it say here? Distributed by Colonial. I thought that was Philadelphia, but I guess it looks like a Philly label, but maybe it's not. As Reed gave some interesting information in the YouTube chat room. So thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you want to download the show or stream the show, you don't have to. If you don't like the visual, you can go to vinyltreasures.net. I upload the show there. I might do it right now. It takes like 13 seconds or 12 seconds with this new upload speed. I'm not happy with they're charging me a lot of money on this. I switched to Verizon Fios, the up speed, and it's really quick. I can't really complain about the internet, but I got it with my TV and my phone, and they keep on changing the prices. I'm not too happy with that. I'm locked in. I think I'm locked in with them for a while. So I'm not happy with that, but I can't complain about the speed of the internet, the uploading speed. And isn't it a lot better with not having the skipping of the video? That was a pain in the neck. It's annoying. At least we don't have that anyway. But again, thank you all for tuning in tonight, and you can go check out the it'll be up on YouTube really instantly, but then they run it through the filter. Sometimes they block it, and I have to splice one of the songs out, which is a pain. It's a pain, but I'm not making any money on it, but that's the people who own it. I'm at the mercy of YouTube. That's the way it goes. But thank you all. I got to go relax, and I'll see some of you Monday night. If not, I'll see you next Saturday night at 9 o'clock. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.